may be made out of felt, but I've never felt this way before. I may be filled with cotton, but now I'm caught up in you. 'Cause I'm a Muppet baby, Muppet crazy. I'm a Muppet baby, and I'm feeling kinda lazy. I'm a Muppet baby, and I'm Muppet crazy, and I'm a Muppet baby, and I'm feeling kinda lazy with you.
All right. Hello, internet. All right, this is the first episode of Cartooned. Our special guests tonight are Dan.
Hey, everybody.
Dan from Sledding with Tigers.
That's me.
Brandon, also from Sledding with Tigers.
Ooh, and what else?
I'm going to let Brandon say something so people can differentiate his voice.
San Diego.
That's where we're broadcasting from tonight, folks.
And in this
Live.
episode, we all sat around and watched Muppet Babies.
We watched season 1,
Yeah.
episode 10.
Yes.
10.
We ate pizza, watched Muppet Babies, and drank Doritos. This podcast brought to you by
Muppet baby.
Doritos.
If we say that enough times, they'll just send us checks.
Oh, okay. I pray for that every night.
A check from Doritos.
Yeah. There are literally no bad flavors of Doritos. Transition.
Okay. Can I just say?
Yeah.
Okay, so we watched season 1, episode 10.
Mm-hmm.
The title was Gonzo Filmmaking.
It was
Really?
It was Gonzo
I'm
video.
80% sure it was a pun on Hunter S. Thompson,
Yeah.
which every 5-year-old is gonna love.
So a quick recap of this episode. The Muppets, the Muppet Babies in this adventure got a camera.
They were given
1 hour of camera time.
They were
someone, a fully grown adult, gave a bunch of vaguely aged children felt puppets access to a camera for a full hour unsupervised.
Yeah.
And nothing
And
bad happened?
it was a nice camera for that time too.
Yeah.
Like that was expensive equipment.
Yeah, those don't come cheap. Now that would be like, here's an iPhone. Go
Yeah.
make a movie.
Well, yeah, the quality of that, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, like comparatively, it'd be like a legitimate.
Yeah,
not
it would be like
that
giving
was
them
something
like a
people
red
use for
film
real.
camera, you know?
Yeah.
Like here's a $5,000 piece of equipment. Please do not use
Don't-
your limited fine motor skills and drop this.
You see, like they like had a hard time actually picking up the camera too.
Well, they
Randomly, Gonzo gets
was
super
it?
strength and becomes
was
a
it
director and can hold it with
Scooter,
a hand.
like
But
specifically said like, "Oh, what's this?" And then like a minute later, he was like, "I saw a documentary on TV about cameras and I know how to use them."
yeah. Well, anyway, so the rest of what happened was they found a camera. They decided, oh, let's make some movies, and then they made a couple little mini movies, and then they decided to just reshoot Star Wars with Muppets babies. Babies.
And got a hold of actual real footage from Star Wars.
Yeah, and
it was the laziest filmmaking I've ever seen in my life.
I was kind of surprised, though. I think you could tell that this was the point in time where Disney had acquired all the Jim Henson stuff and the George Lucas stuff. So they were like plugging every single thing from all the Star Wars movies into this episode. Like the backgrounds were the exact same, just footage, and then there's just Muppet Babies run across Hoth.
Yeah, I wasn't sure how they got permission to do that, but
Yeah.
I guess it's probably like a Disney thing, but there's straight up just like moments in this episode where there's no Muppet Babies. It's just a scene from Star Wars. It's just planes flying across the sky and exploding. Death happens in this episode.
Yeah, a lot.
There's murder in this episode.
Yeah, and the names even didn't stay consistent. Like he was like,
Well, they're 3 years old.
well
they
also,
started
but
with,
no, but
like-
for a show where they start using like copywritten names. Like it's like there's R2D2 and it's like it's Scooter D2. No wait, it's R2D2. And then 5 minutes later they go back
the
to
wrong
Scooter
one,
D2.
and then just call it R2D2.
And they're like, if only Han Solo can save us, it's Gonzolo.
So what you're saying is you're upset about the continuity of
Oh
this
no,
episode.
there's a lot of things I'm upset about, which is why we have a podcast.
How old are they? Is there any?
Know.
Anybody know?
They're babies.
I just looked it up. It doesn't say. It's It's supposed to be ambiguous.
It's just vaguely
Well,
babies, but
Younger than toddlers.
they're
Yeah,
younger
yeah,
than
they're babies.
So
Babies are under 2.
Yeah.
no,
Toddlers.
Yeah.
Well, I
2
think
to 3.
babies are up to.
babies are
like
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 two.
1
Okay, so
year
I'm
and
a professional.
9-10 months.
But I'm
You
pretty
should
sure.
probably clarify to people what that means.
I'm pretty sure that babies is like
Well, maybe Muppet babies are
0
different.
to 1 to like 1.5.
By Dan's a professional, he means he worked at Gymboree.
Yeah, I work with babies.
I don't want people to think that's weird.
No, it's not. Well, weird can go. I don't know.
I have experience with
I don't know.
Gonzo film.
Yeah.
And, babies.
But yeah,
So I don't understand what age they are in this. Like, I don't understand where in their developmental process they are, because they seem to still need a lot of basic help with like some of them are wearing diapers,
Yeah.
right? There were
Yeah.
diapers in this episode, and yet they have a fully functioning understanding of the human language to the point where they are making wordplay.
yeah,
Like
and,
an amazing amount of wordplay.
and I don't know how Muppets mature, but there was a lot of sexual tension in this episode.
it was palpable.
Yeah, it's between Gonzo, Miss Piggy, and Kermit.
Which I didn't
It
even
was
know
weird. It was
existed
like-
in the
Yeah, I
the
was like,
Muppet
when
universe.
did that happen?
No, that's
That's not.
well,
wait.
not Gonzo, but obviously.
Well, yeah,
Oh, yeah,
Kermit,
yeah, that-
Kermit and Miss
Kermit and Miss
Piggy,
Piggy,
that's always been a thing.
The
I
thing
think-
with Gonzo, he was like weirdly obsessed with her. That's
But only for brief moments.
yeah.
like
and then-
sharing popcorn.
Yeah,
That's true.
They did share popcorn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, baby.
And by share popcorn, we mean she dunked a bucket of popcorn over his head.
Which is how you show love when you're 3 years old.
Yeah, that's why Shaq loves everyone in the NBA.
Oh, boom! See, that's a form of wordplay that would be
We did it.
exhibited in this episode.
That's a classic Muppet Babies joke I made there.
Actually, with like what age they are, I had one other thing I noticed. Baby Kermit's voice is distinctly lower.
Yeah,
than
I
Kermit's
wrote
voice
that.
is. It's yeah. I wrote Baby Kermit down.
Like, Kermit the Frog is way up here
Yeah,
when he
when-
talks, and then Baby Kermit is like, "Hi, everybody. Miss Peggy. Miss Peggy, come over here. Everybody listen to me."
He turned into the Barry White of frogs.
What the fuck, man? I'd fuck, man.
On the subject of voices, how long has Rolf been smoking cigarettes to get that voice? He's a 3-year-old
I mean-
or vaguely 3-year-old child, and his voice sounds kind of like, "Hey everybody, it's
He's like
Rolf."
almost Tom Waits already. I think he was born in a hospital in the 70s.
Yeah.
So
And then Gonzo's like, there's two Simpson voices. Gonzo's like Marge, but like a crappy version of it.
That's true.
and Rolf was Nelson. Rolf just was
Like,
Nelson.
actually,
Was it the same voice actor?
I'm not entirely sure, but I'm like 90.
All right, let's go to our research department. Come back to us in a second, Ted. But again, on the subject of voices, who do you guys? What member of the Full House household do you think did the voice for Animal?
DJ Tanner.
Dave Coulier.
Oh,
Dave Coulier is the voice for Animal. I'm not making that up. If I could make that up,
forgot.
I would be making millions of dollars.
he had a mini little career in voice acting for a little bit there.
Yeah. It
And
was- I mean, he did it in the
he-
show.
Yeah.
He set up his career.
Yeah.
That's the best way to make yourself a career, is have a sitcom, give yourself a career in that sitcom, and then just keep doing it afterwards.
Basically.
I mean, oh, and here's another fun one. So Scooter,
Yeah.
who do you think did his voice?
John Stamos.
Close.
Barry Manilow.
Howie Mandel.
Oh yeah, because I noticed that because it was the exact same voice as Bobby from Bobby's World, and Howie Mandel did Bobby in Bobby's World.
Right?
Yeah. Also, another thing on the topic of Scooter, where the fuck did his sister go and come from?
Wait, yeah.
Like,
that,
and the
that
later ones-
relationship did not exist in any
Literally
Muppet
anything
universe.
else. Yeah. I know that he was in Scooter was in everything else, but I had literally forgot he had a sister
I
until
don't think
a
he
half
had
an
a
hour
sister.
ago.
I think they were trying to do like was this before
it's only
or after
season 1.
Rugrats?
This was way before. This was like I think
Okay,
5 years before.
Because I was about to say, kind of seems like a Phil and Lil situation a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's what they were.
You
going
were
for.
wondering about Rolf?
No.
Oh, whose voice was it?
Yeah, Ralph.
Oh no,
it was
Rolf.
Rolf,
Yeah,
if it's
Rolf.
Nelson.
Rolf.
It's somebody named Katie Lay, and she did
Never,
not do.
never worked again.
No. Here's
Her work was so.
no. She was actually in a bunch of different things,
Oh,
like
okay.
Darkwing Duck,
Darkwing Duck.
Aladdin, a bunch of video games, but they're all like really small characters.
Where she plays Tom Waits.
She
Like
plays
she's
Tom Waits.
just barely been scraping by for the last 20 years of her life,
She's
doing
like-
small bit parts and
Yeah, exactly. Like in the Smurfs, she was
Smurf 3.
Balthazar's niece.
So that, like up until Shrek 3, she had a dry spell.
Yeah.
She played the piano playing pirate.
Oh,
Where did Nanny come from?
Who
Okay.
plays Tom Waits? Is that
Tom
what
Waits
you're-
plays Tom Waits actually in the real thing.
Okay, that's what you're
Yeah.
talking about, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
Because he
about.
plays a Tom Waits song.
Yeah, it's actually Tom Waits plays that character in Shrek.
Yeah.
No, I was making a real Tom Waits reference.
Yeah.
oh. I didn't
Brandon
know any
got
of that.
it.
Yeah, I didn't know any of that.
Because he plays Little Drop of Poison.
And that's why I have
No
the cartoon
way.
podcast.
Oh, that's so rad. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
on DVD.
Wait, what were you saying?
Where did the nanny come from? And
Okay.
why is the nanny there? Is she holding them hostage? Where did she acquire them?
I don't know what the
also-
backstory of these children
wait,
are. Like,
this is-
were all their parents murdered?
I can answer this question so easily. She's a nanny. That's
Yeah,
what
but-
nannies
No, but
do.
they stay. They
take
live
care
with
of
nanny.
kids.
No, no, they live with
it's
nanny. They
it's a
stay with her.
nursery. It's not like a
Yeah.
nanny
Yeah.
situation. It's like they live with nanny.
That's why I think it's not canon technically because in Kermit Swamp Years,
That's exactly what I was
Kermit
about to
talks
say.
about growing up in the swamp. He didn't never like in the bayous of Louisiana. There's never any mention of
Well, maybe his teen years.
no,
because
well,
they cover his teen years in that movie.
because I was about to say
I'm
I
serious.
don't think this is canonical in the Muppet universe.
Yeah.
because none of the Muppets meet until the Muppet movie.
That's
the
true.
Muppet movie is the origin story of the Muppet crew. But do you know where this whole TV show comes from?
No.
It's all based off of a fantasy sequence from Muppet Takes Manhattan.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was just a fantasy sequence in the middle of Muppet Takes Manhattan, and then Jim Henson was like, that was sick, let's do that for 6 seasons, and also do a Star Wars parody.
Muppets Take Manhattan was I remember that
That's
a
the
lot.
one
I owned it.
That's the one I remember the least.
Yeah, I remember that there was a rollerblading scene between Miss Piggy.
Are you saying it was
and-
Brink?
Yes. I remember that the Brink was also a spin-off of Muppets Take Manhattan.
Based off of the rollerblading scene in Muppet Takes Manhattan.
It's starring it was Miss Piggy and Joan Rivers.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, there was a rollerblading scene where like they were trying to outcompete
Rest
each
in
other.
peace.
Yeah, rest in peace, Joan Rivers. We'll pour out some. We did it.
Nobody
it's a
poured.
podcast.
Nobody poured.
Just believe us, damn it.
First, I thought that was going to be a more accurate representation of the sound of water hitting the ground.
It sounded.
No, well, we
It
won't talk
sounded
about
like-
what it sounded like.
Oh, okay. But I mean, it sounded like when you put macaroni and cheese in a cup and then you
Yeah.
punch it. I
How often are you doing this, Pat?
don't want to talk about it. It's what I do with my private life is none of Obama's business.
Daddy's a macaroni puncher.
Shh, 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 shh. We don't talk about that right now. So I was
Speaking
I love macaroni.
Speaking of macaroni punching, speaking of film parody and this whole situation, the Star Wars version that they portray is bonkers.
And it's really fucked up.
It's the end of I'm skipping to the end. Spoiler alert. Kermit and Miss Piggy, aka Princess Leia and Luke Skywalker, end up together and live happily ever after, never once mentioning that they are brother and sister.
And you gotta remember that this was like 1986, 87.
Yeah.
They knew what happened.
Yeah.
Like, Star Wars happened. They knew, like, what was going on there.
So not only is this show not canonical,
it's not canonical on so many levels.
Star Wars is also not canonical.
I'm pretty sure this whole show was just Christopher Nolan saw this one day and was like, Inception.
But I mean, to be honest, even with all of this, I think that this version of Star Wars is still better than the 3 prequels that came out.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
No. That's no.
Yeah, there was no pod racing in this. No pod racing.
So another thing with Nanny that kind of bugged me was that she was okay. We don't know what's going on with how she abducted these children and whatnot, but
What happened to their parents?
yeah,
Well, Gonzo's from space.
yeah, which we learned in Muppets from Space, which also had George Clinton in the Parliament of Funkadelic in.
That's true.
Anyway,
One of the
Shout
best Scout soundtracks of all time. I'll say
good.
it right now.
I saw that in the theaters 3 times.
Wow. I saw it alone with my dad.
Oh, I was with my
in the
dad.
movie theater.
Yeah, I did the same thing.
What did you and your dad do?
Let me check my notes here. Either fucking animal or Muppet hates Alderaan.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's everything I've written. I've talked about every single thing.
Yeah. So, but anyway, on the topic of Nanny, what I was getting to was that Nanny's a bad nanny. In that,
Oh yeah.
She's absent.
Yeah.
She's absolutely absentee.
like she okay, but just disregarding that because she obviously was just like leaving these kids alone with really expensive equipment and a lot of really crazy sharp objects and stuff like that laying around and
An animal
whatnot.
should not be left alone ever.
nuh-uh. Oh, we're good. Okay.
Holy moly.
There was the part where they all had the imaginary cars and they were pulling up to their imaginary screening, like the outdoor screening.
Yeah.
And Gonzo walks up to Nanny and he was like, "Nanny, get in a car." And she was like, "No, fuck you, Gonzo."
I'm not into this.
She's like, "I'm gonna sit on the couch,
With
you little
animal."
shit." And then so then Gonzo he's like, "Okay, Nanny," and he gets in his car. He pulls up into his parking spot, and Kermit's in his like sick ass Hummer, and he looks over at Gonzo, and Gonzo's still in the cardboard car. And then Kermit's like, "Gonzo, where's your car?" And then Gonzo goes, "Oh, I guess I'm just not imagining hard enough." I was like, she fucked this kid over mentally. Like
She ruined his day.
Yeah.
See that the thing about that
That's
is
gonna
that they didn't
scar him.
understand what's going on because it wouldn't have been Gonzo's imagination. It would have been Kermit's, or he wouldn't have seen the box. So Kermit's the one who wasn't imagining the
So
car.
Kermit was projecting, is what we're trying to say.
Maybe.
No, guys.
But then Gonzo,
They share a collective imagination with each other. That's how
Oh
they
my
share a
God.
hive mind.
everybody, just in case you didn't know who that was talking,
Oh yeah, that was Ted,
that is our producer.
who we've never once introduced so
That is
far.
the producer, Ted.
Haven't even looked at him this whole time.
Nope.
I've been avoiding eye contact.
We just keep hearing this weird voice coming from the other side of the room.
It sounds like there's
Brandon, let me see the bottle opener.
I'm happy to know that it's Ted and not a banshee.
Yeah. Me 3 PO.
Oh,
Oh.
hey.
Boom. Okay. Can I also say?
Yeah, you can. Go ahead.
Can I also say?
What you
no,
say?
you can whenever you feel like
This one. Not 1.
daddy.
Not 2. Not 3. But 4. A metric hat trick. Consecutive Emmys.
Really?
Yes.
That's amazing.
It-
I want to
that-
know what it beat out.
Everything.
Just kidding. You don't have to look it up,
Everything else. Yeah, it won 4 consecutive daytime Emmys during its
pretty-
run. Isn't that amazing?
Well, okay, that's another thing I wanted to. I saw that like there was that period of time in the mid to late 70s throughout the entire 80s
When everyone
Where-
was doing
Wait,
coke.
What
No, that was
What
just
Emmy
the
did
80s.
it win?
70s was other stuff.
did it
What?
win an Emmy for like best children's animated
I
program?
probably just animated, I would guess.
Probably, yeah, something
Because
like
that's
that.
like It's Jim Henson. Like, duh, he's gonna get it.
True, but the thing I saw that was a lot different than the cartoons of that time was that period from like the late 70s throughout the 80s is when animators got super lazy, like the Hanna-Barbera method.
Oh, yeah.
Where they were like they used the same still just talking and then they would go back and like they would show an arm move and then they could just go back to a close up on the face talking and it would be saying like it'd be mouthing the same words as before but they would just put different ones in. The animation on this was actually pretty solid for that time. Like they actually animated every little thing. There was a lot of movement and stuff.
There was one thing I noticed.
Mm-hmm.
There's when Rolf is talking,
Yeah.
his mouth, nothing on the screen moves for like a good 2 seconds, and he's like talking. It's when he's telling a joke in the X. Were they in the Millennium Falcon at that point?
I think so.
It
Yeah,
should've been.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, they were. It was like just before they blew up the tomato star.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
telling he was telling his joke then. And
Yeah. No, I get that because for this episode in particular, there was the background stuff where it was just nothing.
Yeah.
Or it was just stills from Star Wars.
Yeah.
But the actual animation of the characters was pretty fluid as a whole.
Yeah, it's definitely it's no like running across the screen, only the legs moving, and then
Scooby-Doo.
behind you is the same scene just passing through repeatedly.
Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, Scooby-Doo.
That's all of Hanna-Barbera. Let's not be mean to Scooby-Doo. But yeah.
Hey, Scooby-Doo, you're an idiot.
Meet me in the courtyard, Scooby-Doo.
We have dead hair.
Anyway, so Dan, what made you pick Muppet Babies?
I don't know. You guys asked me what cartoon I wanted to do, and the first thing that came to mind was Muppet Babies, and I have no idea why. I think somebody talked about it recently to me, so
I know
I just
that-
remembered how crazy it was.
Yeah, it was
How
intense.
Insane. The premise is how all the plot was bonkers.
Yeah,
I'll say
well-
it again. I love that word now. Bonkers.
So people know the original premise was going to be people we'd watch 2 episodes and then come back and talk about it. But this single episode of Muppet Babies, so much shit happened that we were just like, fuck it, we got to go talk about
It
this. This is
shook
enough.
my foundation.
Yeah.
Everything I believe in.
I know that you were an avid Muppets fan.
Huge. Yeah, Muppets are like, yeah, I used to love that.
So is Muppet Babies
Still
in your
love
top
it.
favorite cartoons, would you say?
No. No, I only have very peripheral knowledge of it, to be honest. I remember watching it as a kid, but I didn't remember anything about it. Like, watching this was like totally coming to it new. It was so weird.
Because like when we were kids, they had it so a lot of the times those older like early 80s, so the 80s cartoons, because even though we were a little bit older, they would still rerun them all the time at random times.
Yeah.
So we never got like a sense of what the fuck was happening ever because they'd be random episodes at different times. So I can see how it's kind of hard to have the Muppet Babies be your favorite when it's like you get season. This ran for 6 seasons. We found out earlier
Yeah,
too.
there are so many episodes of the Muppet Babies.
There are.
If you think you can't come up with a plot for the Muppet Babies, Jim Henson has a story for you.
Jim Henson has lots of stories. Dark Crystal, Labyrinth,
The Muppets.
The Muppets, Take Manhattan,
Fraggle Rock.
Fraggle Rock.
That's everybody forgets about Fraggle Rock.
Yeah,
Everybody does.
because it's still solid
Yeah.
to this day.
Yeah, it's good.
It holds
It's
up.
just
I went
good.
back. I literally went back and watched it. I think 2 years ago, and it's still great. And the thing is, I kind of wanted to talk more about Jim Henson in this because Jim Henson only did one animated show,
Yeah.
so we could branch off into other random Jim Henson stuff from our childhood and whatnot. But did you ever see The Storyteller?
No, what's that?
I think they just took it off Netflix, but it was like where they basically recycled the dog that lived in the basement of the Fraggles, and
Perfect.
they paired him with an old British guy, and the British guy would just tell fairy tales, and then like it was basically all of the reject Jim Henson monsters. They would put into these old fairy tales that this guy was telling.
Yeah.
And they would just have people and crazy, like Dark Crystal style monsters interacting with each other and whatnot.
Huh.
Yeah. I recommend going and checking it out. Along with, what other shows has Jim Henson done?
I don't know. Maybe we'll have to look it up. Ted, research department. All right, we'll come back to you, Ted. Ted's just on his DS. So our producer Ted, is just sitting here on his DS, farting around while we're creating
You got any street passes?
baggage. Yeah, what are you playing, Ted?
No.
Thank you, Ted. Anyway,
What's your favorite Muppet movie?
just
Treasure.
as in
Treasure.
that
Muppet
one's
Treasure
that one's
Island.
very
Treasure
good. I watched A Muppet Christmas Carol though. I watch a lot.
I've seen that movie more than any movie at all. Any movie. Mm-hmm. I know every line to that movie. Like if we watch that movie right now, I could probably repeat it from beginning to end. We shouldn't do that.
Oh. You got me
But-
excited for a second.
But you know what part of that movie kind of sucks, but also is very important to that movie?
What?
That dumb slow song in the middle. The love is gone.
Yeah, did you know that in the
They cut it out
they
of the
cut it in the new
theatrical
version.
version.
Yeah.
But on the DVD,
If you
It's
watch
still
the
there.
extended one, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, because I went back and watched it on Netflix because they added it for Christmas a couple months ago. And
it's not on
yeah,
there.
it's gone. And it's weird because there's all the buildup to the song, and then it just cuts to them flying back into town. And I was like, what happened to this girl? What happened to the love story? Like, I want to know.
Yeah.
I remember, I specifically, like, I hadn't seen it in a while. I was like, I remembered from like 5 or 6 years ago. What? You say something, Ted?
Ted's got something to say.
No, I just picked up the microphone. I was gonna wait for you to be done, but okay.
Oh, that was basically it.
That's
It was
all-
just,
you were
that's all
just
he
looking
had.
for anything else that Jim Henson had done.
But let me just say,
has he done any more animated shows or?
I mean, he did Sam and Friends,
what is Sam and Friends?
Sam, Harry the hipster, Kermit, Professor Madcliffe, Omar, Yorick, Pierre the French rat, and others.
What?
All sound familiar.
There was another one called Hey Cinderella, as Kermit the Frog he was in that.
What are you,
The Frog Prince.
Oh no! You're saying
Ted? You're listing just
What?
characters of things, right?
No.
What are you
think-
talking
wait, no,
about?
Those are
I
like
think-
shorts.
yeah.
Yeah, you asked
Which-
what else he had done.
In which
We're talking
No,
about TV
no,
shows.
like
Ted.
TV shows or movies. So when you said Sam and Friends,
You were not talking about Sam
I
and
literally thought you were
That's what I
talking about the
thought.
fish, salmon.
remember that slow song in the middle? It's like salmon friends.
The love is salmon.
Friends.
But
Salmon
that song
friends.
is so long and so slow. But without it, the whole movie falls apart.
Yeah, like it needs it.
It needs it, but I wish they had taken out every verse and just said like, "I'm leaving you," and been done.
They could have just had the chorus, and then just left it at that.
Though Michael Caine has the voice of an angel,
Right?
like he sings really.
Wait,
nicely.
are you talking about Michael Caine singing in that part, or are
Yeah.
you talking about young Michael Caine?
No, not young Michael Caine.
Well, because they had an actor play young Michael Caine in it.
Young.
Yeah.
It's not Scrooge, just young Michael Caine.
No, I know. No, young Michael Caine, it doesn't sing in that part though. It's old Michael Caine that sings in that song.
Yeah.
And he could sing me to sleep every night and I'd be happy,
Yeah.
which would make anybody happy, I
Yeah.
think.
Michael Caine's like
It might get weird later on in your life.
Michael Caine has reached the like Andrea Bocelli voice thing where like you just want him to just chill by your bed. No. Okay, you know what? I don't want to do that because I don't want to deprive the world
Yeah.
of Michael Caine.
Everybody's like,
Or Bocelli.
where did Michael Caine go?
Why
Oh,
does
he's
my-
just been hanging out with Patrick, sitting in his bedroom, singing him to sleep every night.
My
That-
bedside is so empty.
I just assume that's what he did in Batman.
Are you looking for things that
Michael Bain.
he wrote or
Michael Bain.
produced or just anything in general?
Directed. It's Jim Henson, Ted.
I mean, but he wrote and directed a lot of things. I'm just asking.
Still laughing at Michael Bain. That's funny.
That is pretty funny.
The lover's gone, Batman.
Let the games begin.
Let the Canes begin.
Let the
Let's
let
see
the
here.
games begin.
He did Sesame Street Cookie Monster's Best Bites.
Oh.
It was just a compilation of Cookie Monster.
like an SNL best of Will
That's
Ferrell,
legitimate.
but just Cookie Monster.
That's legitimately what this is.
I just picture Cookie Monster on the cover with just his head resting in his hand.
Muppet Vision 3D in
Oh, I
1991.
have seen that.
You have?
I have, yeah.
Is it good?
It is good.
bet.
But it's gone from Disneyland now.
Oh, that was the thing from Disneyland?
Yeah.
That was made in 1991?
Yeah.
Well,
A long
the
time
3D.
ago.
Are you just talking about the 3D things?
Muppet Vision 3D, yeah.
Because if you're remembering a 3D thing that's gone, it's probably Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
No,
Both-
there was
both
a
are gone
there was a
now.
There was a
Muppet.
Muppet one.
There was a Muppet one.
The Muppet one literally got taken out 3 months ago.
he directed 2 episodes of The Storyteller in 1988.
Oh yeah, that's
See?
what we were
That's
talking
what I'm
about.
talking about. It's a good show.
Oh, okay.
He also, I think he produced it too and like sponsored the creatures. and
Yeah.
Oh, you forgot about the 1986 classic The Tale of the Bunny Picnic?
No one could ever forget that.
Or Rocky Mountain Holiday with John Denver and the Muppets?
That
Oh, yeah.
sounds amazing.
Why didn't we watch?
Yup.
I mean, well, that's not a
Why am I not
cartoon,
watching
but-
that every day?
You should have
Forget
that.
Michael Caine.
Yeah, I was
That
gonna
is what is
say.
going to sing me to sleep for the rest of my life.
The Fantastic Miss Piggy Show?
Oh.
I didn't know she had her own show.
I think it was her, like, talk show
That-
starring Miss Piggy.
So it's like Rosie O'Donnell's TV show that she
Basically.
had?
The Muppets No Nonsense Show?
No nonsense.
It's
Is
a
that-
it's
that's
a
the
19
Rosie O'Donnell
just,
show?
It's just them. You know how like Sesame Street does those parodies of movies all the time or
Yeah.
TV shows?
Yeah.
I always thought they should do like
Sesame Street, yes. Let's talk about that because I have not seen any Muppets things, so I'm just sitting
You've
here.
never seen the
you've never
Muppets?
I've seen the Muppets Treasure Island,
and we just
and
skimmed
now,
past that.
and now this.
Okay, no. Let's go back to Muppet Treasure Island.
Wait.
No, okay, wait. Dan, say your thing first.
It was dumb. Now it's gonna be bad, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
Well, you
'cause
said you already admitted to it being dumb. It's gonna be bad either
piece
way.
of-
yeah, it's a really
Just
so you know
Ooga
how
chugga,
you know
ooga
how
chugga,
Sesame
something's
Street
not
does like the
right.
film parodies and like the TV show parodies,
Yeah.
where they're like instead of Mad Men, it's like Dad Men or something like that.
Yeah.
I want them to do like a Kermit the Frog one where it's 50 Shades of Green, and so it's like, "Come into my office, Miss Piggy," and flogs her.
Or Frog
Frogs.
Sir.
Oh,
He frogs. Oh!
We're on the same
All right.
wavelengths.
Muppet Treasure Island.
Treasure Island.
Muppet Treasure
A
Island.
piece of it. Piece of it.
My favorite running joke from that when I was a kid was sailing on the big blue wet thing. They just keep referring to the ocean as the big blue wet thing,
Yeah.
and it made me laugh.
The
got cabin fever.
yeah. The weird turns in that movie are perfect.
Yeah, there are numerous.
Yeah. I like my favorite running joke in Muppet Treasure Island was that all of the rats on the ship thought they were on a cruise line. So it was they were just like on like a pirate ship cruise line, so they were just like going out and having buffets while everyone else was starving on the ship.
I think the rats to me, like the kind of like they're almost like these like weird periphery characters in every Muppet movie.
Yeah.
That never affect the plot in any way. They are just there as joke machines.
Yeah,
like
and-
they can just throw a joke in and then you don't worry about them for the rest of the movie.
Yeah, and then in A Muppet Christmas Carol, they specifically made it so that Rizzo the Rat and Gonzo couldn't affect anything happening.
Yeah.
So that was their job.
Yeah. And then there's they also had the rats that were they worked for Ebenezer Scrooge. And
Yeah.
that's one of my favorite jokes is when they ask him for firewood.
Yeah.
And this is like, oh, how would you feel on the unemployment line? And they all put on the hats and like, this is my island in the sun.
Yeah. It's so good.
And so that movie is perfect. It's a perfect movie. There's nothing better than that movie.
The skeletons at the beginning of Muppet Treasure Island scared the fudge out of me when I was a little kid.
I liked the lobster.
What?
What?
At the beginning, the lobster
What are you
at
talking
the
about?
beginning has the best Muppet voice. I don't know what
What does the lobster sound like?
Hey kids, what you gonna do?
It's
The
me.
lobster gonna come for you. New York, New York.
So he's a member of the Rat Pack?
Why are they
Bring it
sailing
back.
from Jamaica to New York? That is not safe.
Or feasible.
Yeah, that's true.
Wait, very feasible. That was a stupid thing to say. I was thinking of the east
I
side
like
of
that
New
we all
York.
just stewed on that for a little bit.
In my head, I made a little dotted line from Jamaica to New York. I was like,
Like,
well, you just have to go up.
Let's plan this out real quick. Which way are the trade winds blowing at that time of
You'd have
year?
to go all the way past Florida and a little bit of East Coast.
Yeah. Not,
No, wait,
not
it's
possible.
wait, okay, but in your original statement's defense, it's a lot of East Coast to get to New York.
Well, it's mostly Florida, which is tough to get by.
Because you just want to go to Florida.
And you're just like, oh,
So
man,
good.
I want a Cubano sandwich, a Cubano sandwich. I wasn't trying to be racist.
Well,
I had
going
a-
from Jamaica to Florida, you could probably find one sooner than Florida.
Well, no, because you're in the ocean.
That's a good
Oh,
point.
They don't have pigs in the ocean.
Ocean?
Miss Piggy.
Other than Miss Piggy, that's a valid point.
I had a Cubano the other night. My parents were so nice. And they're like, we want to take you out to dinner. I said, thanks, Mom, Dad.
Aw.
Where do you want to go? And they said, on the border. I said,
Wait. They have Cubanos at On the Border?
yes. And let me tell you, if you order a Cubano from On the Border, I'm pretty sure they just use Oscar Mayer lunch meat. Because I opened it up and there's just like slices of deli meats. Like
They're like, this gringo wants a Cubano. Stop by the Vons on the way over.
But thanks, Mom, Dad.
I like that
Thank
they
you,
had
Mom
to
and
call
Dad.
in a chef just to make a Vons trip. What? Hey.
All right.
Don't acknowledge that.
No.
Ted's taking a selfie. We're trying not to acknowledge it.
can't.
We're not
It's
doing
just-
a very good job.
It's like when I see a mirror, I have to stare at it for at least 5 minutes.
Yeah. Who's that guy? Who's that good-looking guy? Is that me?
That's probably
That's
you.
me.
That's probably
That's me.
Wait. That's me. Who let this guy in the house? Hey.
Unless this is a mirror and someone on the other side looks just like me and is playing a hilarious gag.
That was an episode of Rugrats that freaked me out when I was little. This one is Ted is showing Dan a picture.
Yeah.
Remember the episode of Rugrats?
Ted's like, this will be a sick
When-
visual joke on this podcast.
I mean, you're in the picture going like,
Oh, did everyone see
Oh
that?
yeah, Ted. Yeah.
If you missed it, if you missed it the first time,
and Ted
If-
points
yeah,
towards
if
the wall
If you guys were wondering, I was kind of in the picture looking like this.
as Dan points towards Ted's computer.
It was hilarious.
Yeah, there was an episode of Rugrats where they had the Mirror World. Do you remember that?
No, I never watched I wasn't allowed to.
I didn't
What?
watch it either.
Actually, I don't know if I wasn't allowed to. I think I just didn't want
We don't
to.
have to talk about Rugrats.
All right, sorry. We
Because
go
I
to-
don't know anything.
Well,
What
except
That
What-
they have babies.
Okay, so
Baby
It was-
Rugrats.
Muppet Babies. Well, Rugrats did the opposite thing. They did like
Oh,
Rugrats
yeah.
all grown up, where they
Yeah.
turned into like pubescent teens and just wanted to do each other.
that's kind of true. It was
Gross.
weird. I don't want to talk about that. So, a cartoon thing that we could talk with Brandon about: the Hobbit movie.
The Hobbit, Batmonk, and
Whoa,
what's the
we're
third?
saving-
And Totoro.
Shh,
Hey,
we're saving.
hey,
I mean, am I
we're
wrong?
saving- we're
Hey,
saving-
we're saving Batmonk.
Batmonk. We're saving Batmonk. Should
That's-
probably save. Totoro.
That's for a different episode. Yeah, Totoro we should save because
we
someone's
probably
gonna want to
save.
talk about Totoro.
Well, no, they can't because we're gonna talk about it right now.
No.
Remember that time when the cat must be like, which
That was
actually
great.
is how the cat bus goes.
Yeah.
I wasn't like I just made a noise, but that yeah.
I guess we're diving into Totoro now.
No, we're not.
How long are we going, Ted? How long is this?
I'd say cutting off that like beginning part where you didn't know what the fuck to do for like 5
Nope,
minutes.
We're leaving that. That was 5 minutes.
I'd say about 38, 40 minutes.
So 38, 40, add 5. We're about 40, 45. Okay.
All right, we're gonna cut this part out
You're at about 40
We're
minutes.
gonna cut all this
because
out.
there's nothing more obnoxious than talking about how long we've been podcasting.
Okay, sounds good.
But
Okay, ready? We'll come back in 3, 2, 1. Ted, how long has this been going? I just like how the laugh came back with a vengeance at the end.
I don't know.
Okay, well, I think we should just about wrap it up.
Well, yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
Actually, I was thinking
So-
about reading some live tweets.
Okay.
So,
I have none, so yeah, let's
We're
wrap
good.
it up.
can I tell you guys something?
Also, quick shout out to everyone who live tweeted the podcast.
Can I tell you guys something?
Nope.
I went to go get coffee today. I went to Better Buzz, which I don't normally do, but I did. And the guy in front of me ordered a Red Bull smoothie. What kind of garbage do you have to have going on in your life where you walk up to a person and the words Red Bull and smoothie combine themselves and come out of your face, and then you put them back in your face when they give it to you? What does that taste like?
Bad.
You're at a
Like regret and speed.
like, is that like a slushy?
Yes.
No.
Ted, use your microphone.
It's over here.
Talk
Nah.
like an adult, Ted.
Ted
No, I don't
said
think- I
yes.
don't-
What do you?
No, I think it's just
I got
a
you,
Red
Ted.
Bull flavored. But wait, what's
No, I watched her pour a can of Red Bull into a cup, and I almost vomited on the guy in front of me ordering it because she poured a full thing of Red Bull in and then took that cup, took it someplace else, and it came back a smoothie. And the guy was like, "Thanks," and he drank it.
is it like what are the other things?
The other ingredients are probably like Axe body spray.
You get
And
a year-long
brass
free
knuckles.
subscription to the Red Bulletin,
Yeah.
the Red Bull magazine.
Which Ted now has.
Yeah.
No, I said no thank you.
Ted got a free subscription to the Red Bulletin and was like, sick.
That was the most polite anyone's ever been to the people at Red Bull.
Yeah.
No,
So-
thank you.
No, thank you.
No, thank you. No, thank you, bro.
Hi. Excuse me.
Don't you gotta get shit done, bro?
I do like Red Bull's marketing campaign is basically like extreme sports and then just driving a car onto any college campus and then just having attractive women handing Red Bulls to impressionable young men and then being like, thank you.
This had cocaine in it till a year ago.
I'm addicted for life.
Well, at SDSU, they literally had someone. They brought in like the cooler of Red Bulls.
Yeah.
They left it in a hallway and they just left. It was just, and then they came back and took it away later.
It's like
Like no instructions
this
of
as
like
you
take
please.
this for free. People were
They're
just
like-
like, and then would just like fill the backpack up and run away.
that's so they're like a crappy family on Halloween that just leaves a bowl of candy out and hopes that you don't take all of it.
I did that last Halloween and somebody took the bowl.
You're a crappy family.
You deserve to have that bowl taken. On that note,
Wow, that really ended darkly.
I'm sorry. You didn't deserve to have that bowl taken.
Oh.
Dan takes back his crappy remark.
That bowl
Your-
taken.
Your family is wonderful.
Oh, On that note,
Well, that's nice.
thanks for coming to hang it out, everybody. Dan, Brandon are on Sledding with Tigers.
What's going on? Hey, can I do
And-
do I get plugs?
Nope. Turn it off, Ted. Okay, Dan, you can plug what you need to
Yeah, it's
plug.
the end of the episode. If you've made it to the end of the episode, you should get to know about this information. Sledding with Tigers, we're playing a show on the 15th at Lestat's with our best friends Divided Heaven and Merritt.
Wait, I thought we were your best friends.
Nope, you are my second
No,
best friends
Merritt.
to these two bands.
Merritt.
Merritt.
I'm his best friend.
And then we're playing at the
Don't
Irenic
acknowledge Ted.
in May for this thing called Bummerfest, which is like a
that.
which is like a
man.
cool little
Man,
what?
what a bummer.
But it's like a cool fest, and I know
Waka, waka,
I like to
waka.
make fun of fests a lot, but it's a fundraiser for, or it's a,
You literally just posted a status like
It's
a
a
day ago
bum-raiser.
talking about how bad, like, how not everything needs to be a fest.
Okay, but-
and how
Yeah, but
3
this isn't
band shows are the
everything.
best.
yeah, this is a fest.
Yeah.
What I'm talking about is like local shows where a promoter is like, oh, nobody's gonna show up to the show. I'm gonna put 8 bands on this show,
Yep.
and then it'll be like 8 hours long, and by the end of it, nobody's gonna care about any of the bands or remember any band.
So instead of 2 bands watching the show, there'll be 7.
Yeah, so
actually
it-
6, and the one going up next is outside getting Denny's.
Yeah, at least there'll be bodies at the show. I'm just saying that.
Oh, I love
that's
bodies. That's my
obnoxious. I
favorite
mean,
drowning
if it's like a
pool song.
real,
Bodies.
like this is a real fest that this kid put together, and he like worked really hard on it. There's gonna be artists there. Rob Crow's playing. They just announced today.
Oh shit!
So it's like it's a real thing, but when I was talking about like not everything needs to be a fest, I was more talking about like local shows with like 18 hardcore bands on.
Yeah, no, we get it. It's just Ted.
Them. Yeah, Ted's the only one that didn't get it. I'm gonna cut that out. No, you're not.
Cut what out?
Okay.
Brandon, you got anything?
Yeah, on March 15th, gonna be playing with best friend band Grumpus, I think was.
Yeah, Grumpus.
We're playing with Grumpus.
Grumpus and
And the
Travis
Grange.
Vince
Oh man.
Oh,
Well, I'm not playing that.
why not?
there's a.
I only
You
want
didn't
to play
hear?
with the Grumpus.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh.
Brandon is very anti-Grumpus.
No, pro Grumpus.
Wait,
I'm running a pro Grumpus
Anti-Vaughn.
campaign. You're anti Travis Vince.
Is that the drummer of Blink-182?
Yeah.
yeah, but he does paintings.
Well, then he sucks
Whoa.
at music.
Hey, okay, we came back. We made it.
We're back here. We almost lost control of that podcast for a second. Pulling back the reins.
All right, so at the
Just
end
in
of
time to
at the,
end.
at the end of every podcast, we have people try to cover the theme songs from the
Oh,
show they
God.
watched.
I thought this was going at the beginning.
Yeah, this is going at the beginning.
This is going at the beginning.
Which was
So-
something you listened
so
to
Ted-
earlier.
Ted
and
can
can
cut this
completely
out.
remember.
remember that? That was cool.
Through the power of movie
Cut
magic,
that-
we're going to take the thing that we're about to
We
do and
was
put it at the
all
beginning.
like- Got a Muppet.
All right.
All right.
Movie magic.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks. Don't listen to more, please. Later when they come up.
Thanks, Ted.
Thanks, Ted.